Hi, folks. Hi, folks. Hope everybody's okay out there. It's good to be with everybody. Love to everybody out there. Well, I just wanted to share with you um, a chapter from my new book on Sam Harris. It's called Under the Radar: Sam Harris and the Embarrassment of Atheism. And I've been thinking and studying and reflecting on Sam Harris for about 5 years. And so I have a chapter that I want to read to you. And I'm going to just put it, some of it out, not all of the chapter, but some of it out for people to think about, talk about. Excuse me. So, um, without further ado, I'm going to give you some of my book. This is a cut above the rest of the critiques of atheism. Excuse me, I've got a cold. Excuse me. Sorry about this. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I've just been struggling with a cold all day. This book is not your normal book on critiquing atheism. The book is pretty weighty in its scholarship. There's a lot of scholarly stuff to wade through, and so I'm going to have to put in more illustrations and make it a bit more homely and a bit more down to earth. So it's going to be quite challenging for those who are going to listen to what I have to read to you now. So if you want a book that's going to make you think, a book that's going to challenge your atheism, a book that will make you go deeper into studying, then this book is for you. I'm in the process of sending it off now to a publisher, so please, those pray that a publisher would accept it, and give me an advance to finish the book. Okay. So without further ado, I'm going to read the chapter, or some of the chapter. I'm not going to read all of the chapter. The chapter 1 is called The Bread of Life, and it goes something like this. The basic proposition in the first chapter of Sam Harris' book, Of the End of Faith, is, quote, ideas kill. More particularly, quote, religious ideas kill. Time and again, he pushes this agenda like a prophet of old, with a firm grip of his topic he never lets go, but states his case time and time again. Quote, Sam Harris, the young man smiles with the press of a button. He destroys himself, the couple at his side, and 20 others on the lawns. End of quote. Quote again, a belief is a traveler that once pulled moves almost everything else in a person's life. Are you a scientist, a liberal, a racist? These are merely species of belief in action. Your beliefs define your vision of the world. They dictate your behavior. They determine your emotional response to other human beings. End of quote. Quote again, certainty about the next life is simply incompatible with tolerance in this one. I would agree with some that belief leads to action. The problem is he seems to think that all religious beliefs are simply bad in the actions they engender. To associate Islam, Christianity, and Hinduism in one lump, to my taste, is bad form. Sam lacks no cultural appreciation of the differences of these religions. He even fails to understand the differences within religions themselves. As for Christianity, he does not deal with the Christian position in a fair way. He regards Christianity as violent as any other religion to his mind, and he fails to see that, as Justin Thacker has noted, it is Christ, quote, who defines Christianity, end of quote. Without understanding this vital point, Sam Harris' attack on Christianity falls to the ground. What Christians have done in the past, such as the Crusades, it has not been a direct application of the teaching of Jesus. Let's take the teaching of Jesus himself. Quote, I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever, and the bread that I will give is my flesh which I will give of the world. End of quote. Sam Harris makes no real effort to engage with the epistemology of Jesus. He knows little about Jesus' teaching. From the verse above, Jesus makes an existential claim, and it will not do for Sam to sidestep this issue and conduct his own political diatribe against religions without dealing in an honest way the Christian life and the Christian position and the founder's teaching. Can anyone, in all honesty, see a political agenda from what Jesus is saying? Can anyone see a jihadist in the text? Or is it not correct to say that Jesus is speaking about spiritual truths? Could it not be Jesus is talking about a personal salvation in his ministry of dying on the cross? Could it not be Jesus wants us to see he can meet our spiritual needs? In all fairness, if Jesus had such a big impact in the world history, would it not be wise to subject his life and ministry to deep critical thinking to see what we can make of it? But we get nothing of any serious intellectual engagement with the Nazarene from Sam. This is the one thing I find unforgivable. As a serious thinker and an heir of the Western intellectual tradition, he should be more rigorous in his analysis of Christianity and, for that matter, other religions. Let's have some more of Sam. Quote, as the beliefs, rituals, and iconography of each of our religions attest to centuries of cross-pollination among them, end of quote. Sam makes a grand claim but gives no evidence for this. It has been noted by N.T. Wright that studying religions, one has to be culturally specific. He has tried to use the motifs, for example, of Second Temple Judaism to understand the life of Jesus. N.T. Wright focuses his studies looking at the ancient texts of the period of Jesus in the cultural context without making crass statements that cross-pollination is given in all religious contexts. The one thing scholars have come to realize is that each religion has its own cultural context. As one can see in the work of N.T. Wright's book, Jesus and the Victory of God, in the first 100 pages, Dr. Wright gives an outline of his method. You will notice how much attention he gives to the cultural context of Judaism, noting the unique differences between each sect and the nuances of ancient text. This kind of scholarship would be needed by Sam to make such claims as he does. But sadly, he shows no sign of grasping even the basics in religious studies, let alone the origin and teaching of Christianity. End of quote. End of what I have to say. I could go on and on, but that just gives you a little taste of the book. And so if you're interested in buying the book, if you're interested in reading the book, if you want to proofread the book, you want a copy of the book before it goes to a publisher's and you want to proofread it for me and give me some constructive criticism, if you want to have blogs and if you want to have meetings on your atheist channels or Christian channels to talk about the book, I'll bring a chapter along and we can read it and we can discuss it for further study and thinking. So those are the opportunities are there if anybody wants to take them up. I'm only going to consider serious offers of people who are serious thinkers and serious in wanting to discuss. And I'll bring along this chapter for you to read and to discuss in more depth and in more detail. If you want. All the references and page references will be provided if you want me to come on your show to discuss the book. So if you're a Christian, pray that the book will get published. If you're an atheist, if you're interested in dialogue and discussion about this paper or this chapter, and if you want to get involved in a more deeper discussion and dialogue, then please, I would love to see you. Only serious thinkers need apply. Only people who really have got a track record of really wanting to think vigorously and rigorously about these topics would I even consider going on your show to talk with you. So please, if you're interested in an in-depth analysis of Sam Harris' work, and you want to really grapple with the challenges that I'm bringing against what he's saying, and you want to do it in an honest, fair, intellectual, and rigorous way, then please get in contact with me. Please spread the word around. Please put it around that a book's going to be published, because a publisher will grasp this book, will grab it with both hands. I'm telling you now. So please spread the word. This book is going to get published, and be ready for me to come on your shows and to dialogue and discuss. What I found quite interesting is since I've set up my website and had a multimedia platform, I found that excuse me, I found that a lot of atheists have dropped off And the reason why they dropped off is they don't want me to be seen as a serious thinker. They would rather me be in doing the silly videos that I did years ago when I wasn't at my best, and they would rather people see that. They don't want people to see that actually I do have a degree from Manchester University, and hopefully I'm going to be doing an MA again. And so they don't want you to know these things. They don't want you to see that there's a serious thinker, and that I can produce serious work. And there is 1,000 videos out there of serious lectures and debates and discussions out there of me that you can find if you look around, and you can find some of them on my website, jasonburnspreacher.com. So thanks for listening. I hope that was an interest to you. If you want more of the book, I'll read another bit of this chapter out to you maybe next week or in a couple of weeks' time. So take care. Thank you for listening. I'm going to do 1 or 2 little short videos, and hope that it stimulates discussion. And I will be putting out a PDF copy of this chapter at some point, and so people can download it from my website and read it and discuss it. Okay? Thank you for listening, and take care. God bless.